Welcome to the Holding Priority Podcast, the Magic the Gathering cEDH podcast. I'm Cardboard Cryptid.
And I'm the Game Ghost.
On today's episode, we'll discuss the Hobbit and the Hobbit Eternal set. So both of the sets from the Hobbit, all of the new cards.
And the Eternals looks like it has a lot of the reprints in it.
Yeah, so we're just going over the new cards, but yeah, the Eternal set, it includes like the scene cards, I guess, things that you can hit in collector's boosters. I'm not too sure. I think it's just the like not in play boosters version.
Yeah, I've seen some good cards. I mean, it's going to be lackluster from Lord of the Rings, I think. But
yeah, I mean, like Magda, of course, got the hookup because it's dwarves. So
oh yeah.
Before we get into that, let's go into the shuffle up. So on our card reviews, we kind of just jump right in. Just in case you're new and you're checking it out, welcome. Normally here we would read comments, kind of push our link tree. Our TCG player link, we would also push that if that was a normal episode.
If it was a normal.
Yeah. If you want to, peruse the cards, if you go to our link tree, there's a TCG player link, and I would direct you there if it was a normal episode. And it also has our social media and YouTube. Just a reminder that if you're on podcasts, this will be audio friendly. If you're on YouTube, we'll have the cards up on the screen. If you're the type of person that likes to see the cards up on the screen and you've started the podcast, maybe check it out on YouTube. But it will be audio friendly for people that are just, doing yard work, working and can have it on in the background. So we make sure we take care of y'all.
For sure.
And then just a reminder, please comment, like, and subscribe, and set the podcast to auto download. And if you did click that TCG player link, you can bookmark it. Then every time you check out TCG player, we get credit for it, which is very helpful.
Yeah, we like getting packs, and we also got that. If it was a normal episode, we have the deck one, which is kind of cool.
Oh yeah, the creator profiles. I've got Hashton and Dina up there. You've got your kin list. So. Will we be updating those lists with a Hobbit? Probably not. Hashton, maybe. Probably not. I do want to go over our card rating system in case you're new. So we do 1 through 5, only whole numbers. 1 means I just think it's neat. 2 means put aside for later. 3 means it might see some play. 4 is I know this will see play in a certain deck. And 5 is this will be a strong add in any color deck the card can be run in. And then once per review, we have a force of will. Either mark the card as what we think is the best in the set or overturn someone else's rating. So if I say it's a 5, Ghost says it's a 1, I'll use my force of will and it'll be a 5.
Doesn't happen often.
If there are any commanders, we gauge them on a different system. It's just 1 through 5, how viable they are in cEDH. All right, let's get into the cards right away. 3 minutes, new record. The first card is Bilbo's Gambit. 1 generic and a white instant, gift a treasure. You may promise an opponent a gift as you cast the spell. If you do, they create a treasure token before its other effects. It's an artifact with tap, sacrifice this token, add 1 mana of any color. And then what the card actually does after you gift the treasure is return target spell to its owner's hand. If the gift was promised, players can't cast spells this turn. Note that this is players, not opponents, so it counts you too.
Yeah. I mean, silences everybody.
Mm-hmm. So this is a cool card for a couple reasons. So Reprieve was a card that you see in like tier 4 and lower play not very often in cEDH. Like usually if someone's playing cEDH, they're either running like red or blue to where they have like actual counter spells or like red elemental blasts. Reprieve for 2 is not great in cEDH for white. That being said, it's cool that white has more options now, like I'm going to silence you and then also, or I'm going to return your spell to your hand and also silence you is pretty good. This is exactly the same mana cost as Reprieve, just silences everybody, and you give somebody a treasure. So like, usually if you're trying to silence somebody, it's kind of a like, okay, well, this person's about to win. You that's behind, I'll give you a treasure. If I give you a treasure, can you hold that up for interaction on the next person's turn so that we get another turn? Yeah.
A lot of politics with it, kind of, to give out a treasure and stuff. I just think if you're going to silence, there's a lot better options.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to like, this is an offensive silence. Orm's Chant is better, but like, it's really just Orm's Chant. So there's more options now. You have 3 silence effects that you can put in your deck now. You also just don't have to gift the treasure. You can just have return target spell to its owner's hand. So it's Reprieve with the option to silence. This is an easy card to rate because if you're running Reprieve, clearly you put this in.
You change it, yeah.
Decks that really want silence effects, like, you know, maybe Rocco, maybe Timna, Darko would run this. But I mean, if it's everybody, yeah, you know, like this is more of an offensive silence, like Orm's Chant.
Yeah, you're not saving your turn with this. Like you're not going for a win.
You're making sure that you get another turn, basically.
And maybe you could use this in a very specific situation where you're winning with abilities, but it's a very specific thing. This is going to be used on an opponent's turn when they go to try to win, and you know,
I mean, maybe Sisay. I don't really think Sisay needs more interaction since they're in blue. Like, to me, this looks like I am not running blue for whatever reason in my cEDH deck, and I want more interaction. At that point, I would just, if you have Angel's Grace and Reprieve already, like, do you run Bilbo's Gambit instead of Reprieve? Yes. But if you don't have Reprieve already, do you run Bilbo's Gambit? I don't know.
I don't know if Sisay would run it. I mean,
that's why I'm saying, because they already have blue and all of those and good interaction cards.
I think that's going to always be the problem with this and multicolored is, do I have this or do I have a Fierce Guardian?
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? Like, because that's similar.
It's a cool option. That being said, I think it's probably I think
it's around a 2. Yeah. I would put it aside. It's definitely good to know that it exists. And that's my thoughts on it. I don't think that this isn't game changing, and this isn't really something that's again, it's once or it's all people are stuck, so you can't really play after it.
Yeah. And so, if somebody was like, hey, you know, I run Timna Dargo and this is definitely a 3, like, I know people will be putting it in Timna Dargo. I could hear that. I could listen to that. Like,
I don't even think so.
I don't play those decks. The decks that I did play in white were Rocco, and like, I wouldn't run this in Rocco.
Well, Timna Dargo has to cast
Dargo over and over again. Yeah, well, like, it's not a I use it on my turn. Oh, yeah. It's a like, hey, I have this in my deck because I absolutely need to get to my turn. So like, I did run Angel's Grace, and like, this is not a cEDH deck by any means, but, well, it is, but not for me anymore. Timna Kodama, like, I would probably run this in Timna Kodama. Maybe Winota would run this. We've been seeing Winota a lot more, just to be like, hey, you're going before me. I really want to swing my creatures on your upkeep. Bilbo's Gambit. Well, no. You have to have a target spell. So the next spell that they cast, you're just like, no. Yeah. This is also target spell, not target non-creature spell. So, you know, with people that have big commanders, like, imagine hitting Kefka with this. Like, that'd be kind of funny.
It is kind of like a turn end. So like, you cast it. So certain player plays such spell, let's say Adnaz. Yeah. And you're like, oh no, in your turn.
Well, send it back to your hand and end your turn.
In your turn, yeah. Which you're kicking the can down a little bit further, but maybe you only needed that one turn.
Yeah.
Also, if you hit a big spell like Adnaz, they might be tapped out.
Yeah. I see it. The only thing is, like, let's say the person after you add Nas like, is this a good card? What about the person after that? Is this a good card? No, not really. Now, if the person before you tries to add Nas, it's very conditional. I would understand people running this, but my case for it would just be: do you run Reprieve? Yes, then upgrade. If you don't run Reprieve, do you add this in? Probably not. So that will be a 2 for Bilbo's Gambit.
I think it's a solid 2, though.
Yeah, it's a solid 2. If I could give it a 2.5, I would. But next card. This is Dane, Lord of the Iron Hills. 1 generic and a white, legendary creature, dwarf noble, vigilance, storied. So this is a new mechanic that may be the only reason I put this card in. If you control 3 or more artifacts, legendaries, and or sagas, you have an enduring story for the rest of the game. So it's like City's Blessing from like old Ixalan, which, I mean, do you have 3 or more artifacts, legendaries, or sagas in cEDH? Pretty much always,
Yeah.
As long as you have an enduring story, creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. It's a 2/2. So this is a really big card in casual. I believe Ghostly Prison is this card. We used to see it a lot when we played casual.
Yeah, and there's two or three effects that do it, so you can have people paying 2 or 3 to attack, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and now this is a 2/2 creature version, so it's not going to get countered. It's priced out well. It has a mechanic called Storied that, if there's other cards that you want to run, the moment you start the story, it doesn't matter if Dane is removed. You keep that storied condition for the rest of the game.
So, okay, so his ability lasts through even after death?
Yeah. Well, no, not the... So as long as you have an enduring story, creatures can't attack you unless their controller pays 1 for each of those creatures. So that is printed on him. He goes away.
And then
that's gone. But you are always considered storied.
Does Storied do anything else? Just
it's on other cards.
Just joking.
This is a 1. I mean, we always try to put in like pretty cool tier 4 and lower cards, and I just wanted to show off the storied mechanic. I saw this and I got like a little bit of like excitement in my casual heart, but then my cEDH cart just kind of crushed it. So I just wanted to show this guy. I think he's neat. He's a 1.
I agree.
Gleaming Splendor. 1 generic and a white. So we have a lot of 2-cost cards right up front. It's a enchantment that's mythic. When an opponent draws their second card each turn, you create a treasure token, and then you can pay 2 generic and a white. 2 players each draw a card. So it's kind of like Fairy Mastermind, but if Smothering Tithe was bad and tiny.
So this is a infinite mana outlet.
Yeah.
This will, I mean, you don't care if your opponent draws because you just play a draw on top of it.
Yeah, once you present the infinite mana, I don't really care what you do as long as it's not split second. So like if I have everybody draw and then someone goes like, okay, I have a response, and then they go Angel's Grace, and then you're like, oh man, that sucks, but that's about it.
Yeah. I mean, Angel's Grace is kind of, it's a little rare in cEDH.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's another one of those cards where it's like, if you have Gleaming Splendor and I use Angel's Grace and I'm next, haha.
Yeah.
But if I'm not next, then it's kind of just a card that ties the game. I used to view it as a counter spell for like whatever you were doing. I didn't really care, but now there's so many infinite wins that's like, okay, well, I'll ping everybody out. And it's like, cool. Oh, you Angel's Grace. All right. Well, I'll ping everybody out, but you guys don't lose for having negative life or 1 life. Okay, I'll pass. All right. On your upkeep. Ping, ping, ping. Cool. I win anyway.
I mean, it's very similar here too.
Yeah.
You would have to have a haste enabler.
Yeah.
Or not a haste, flash enabler.
Yeah.
I like it. I think that it's almost good. I think it's almost there.
I've been seeing a lot of people say that this is like the best card in the set. Whenever an opponent draws their second card each turn, you create a treasure token. If you think about how often Fairy Mastermind triggers, like, like there's a lot of times where I have Fairy Mastermind in hand and I play them, and then someone like in our game the other day where you like sent it back to my hand, I was like, it's actually better in my hand because now I have a counter spell that needs to exile a blue. Like, of course, like blue white, you do have the option to go infinite with Smothering Tithe, where you have Fairy Mastermind and Smothering Tithe. This doesn't really do that unless you have 2 copies of Smothering Tide and then Gleaming Splendor. Like you have to have a way to clone Smothering Tithe, and if you're in blue already, Fairy Mastermind is better if you go infinite mana. I mean, I guess this one, since it targets, you don't have to explain like, oh, hey, I have endurance. Like I have Green Sun. I'll just keep casting it over and over. This one's a little bit easier because it's like at no point do I ever feel like I need to draw, so I'll just target my opponents 2 at a time and then kill everybody. Eventually, you do need to target yourself because it's not up to 2; it's 2 targets. So you'd kill 2 people. You'd kill 1 person. And then you would have to be like, okay, eventually I do have to target myself, but like I will have more cards than any of y'all because I spread the draws around. Because you like if each, this is silly math, but if there's like 100 cards in each deck, you would go, okay, player 1 and 2, you draw. Player 2 and 3, you draw. Player 2 would die after 100 draws, and then player 1 and 3 would have 50 cards while you would still have your 100. So then you would just be like, okay, player 1 and 3, you guys draw. Of course, there's going to be like differences. So someone will have like, 10, 5 cards in the library because they had the most cards. Then you have to select yourself at some point.
I thought about that to draw cards for myself too.
Yeah.
But I think that would just be a little more difficult. I would probably just use this to, and I mean, I'm sure there's somebody a lot smarter than I am to be like, well, I could do it this way. But I would probably just use this as an infinite outlet to kill somebody drawing.
Yeah, I would kill my opponents, and then if there was some reason for me to need interaction at that point, I would just be like, okay, well, on top of it, I'll draw.
Yeah, it would be very specific. I don't see a reason at the moment to. Well, I mean, I guess what you could do is once you got somebody down to death, you could be like, I'm gonna target myself, so I'll draw 10. So like, I'll put 100 on the stack for you, right? And then on top of that, I'll do 10 with me and you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
That'd probably be the better way to do it. And then at any point, if they try to cast something, you just force them to draw some way.
Yeah.
And then you still get your trigger, right?
I mean, alternating and just going like, I'm going to alternate, and then player in the middle, you die. And then you guys with 50 cards, you die. But if it's like 45 and 50, then the person that's left with 5 cards, you're like, okay, me and you draw 5 cards. Cool. Yeah.
Well,
Like,
no, I think you can. I think you can target. Let's say I have 5 and you have 10.
yeah.
I can still put 10 on the stack.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
You
I
just
see.
play on top of it.
Yeah.
That's
So,
what I was saying,
yeah.
to do it to somebody that was going to die with the draws, and then have them So you die with 100.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put 120 on you, and then I'll draw.
So
20
you'd
cards.
put 200 triggers on the stack to kill all of your opponents. It would be 100 for the one in the middle, an extra 100 for the one in the middle to kill the ones on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
then,
yeah.
And if you
I see what
needed
you're
to,
saying.
and if you needed to draw,
Yeah.
you could do that with somebody that was dying anyway.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. So that's the easier way to explain it. It's just like, I'll put 200 on the stack. I'll alternate between 1 and 3. Number 2, you're going to draw 200 cards. So you're like super dead, like.
Yeah, they die after that. I don't think since it's 2 opponents draw, I don't think the ability stops.
Yeah. You can target them as long as they exist, and then the whole stack resolves. Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's assuming infinite mana, which I mean, like, Kenrith, all those 5-color commanders that go infinite mana pretty easily. I do think like white is probably the hardest infinite mana to go. So you kind of have to go like the treasure route, which I mean, I don't think Kenrith has that problem because they can just make themselves draw, and then they're like, okay, well now I have a Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Cool. All of my green is also white now.
Where I think this is a good card, I think that getting a treasure on the second draw is a little lackluster.
Yeah, I mean, like, one of the things that we have to remember is it is 2. It just doesn't have flash, which I mean, it shouldn't have flash, but for me, every time I see Fairy Mastermind, and this is probably like, oh, this guy is bad, like, statement, but every time I see Fairy Mastermind and like Hashton, I'm just like, do I even really want Fairy Mastermind that bad? Like, do I cut it? And I'm like, no, it's blue. Like, I can use it for, I need more blue cards, and it is good. Like, it will replace itself for 2. Like, it's basically a 2-cost creature that says, under the right certain circumstances, when it ETBs, draw at least 1. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And in no way is this, comparable to Fairy. You don't take Fairy out for this. There's just no way.
Yeah. And I will say that, like, the average player doesn't really care if you draw a card, but the average player does care if you make a treasure token, because one is, oh, they get a card to hand and then it kind of disappears in my mind and I don't care about it. And then the other one is, oh my God, there's a new permanent on the field. Like, yeah.
Yeah, thank God this isn't in red, because this would be a crazy Magda card.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, this.
Yeah, I feel like this will mostly just go in like 5-color soup decks. I could see Timna Thras running it. I mean, I think it is a 4. I don't think it's a 5 though. A lot of people have been like, this is a 5, and I'm like,
No,
it's good. I'm not going to say it's not good, but it's not great.
This will see play.
Yeah.
It's got a lot of boxes checked to make this a good card. The payoff is a little lacking.
Yeah.
It is cool that it's an infinite mana outlet, though.
Yeah. It is Fairy Mastermind for non-blue decks.
Kinda.
Yeah. Or a second Fairy Mastermind-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is Gleaming Splendor. We gave it a 4. This one, the Queen of Dale, 1 generic and a white, legendary creature, human noble. When an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, you recruit. By recruit, you draw a card, then discard a card. If you discard a non-land card, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. It's a 2/1.
I think this is a way better card.
I want to Force of Will it.
I do too.
Just because I think it's the best card in the set. That being said, it's not going to get a 5 from me.
I think it's good.
I think it's really good. It's a 2-cost better Esper Sentinel, except you have to discard a card. So it's a loot, not a draw.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of times where you don't necessarily care about the card in your hand.
Yeah.
I mean,
and like, with this one, it creates a 1/1 white human soldier creature token, which I'm glad it's human because Winota.
Yeah.
Which yeah, I feel like we always talk about Winota a lot more, but I like see it all the time too. So
I feel like if you're in a pod at a tournament with Winota, that person is a big problem at the table.
yeah,
And I don't mean like they're not a good person, but like they're doing things and you better stop them
yeah.
because they're going to get scary. And then all of a sudden they swing and kill one person.
I mean, this is also really good for Cradle decks. This is really good for Hashton because I make the 1/1 white creature tokens and then I drop Razaketh and I want to discard as well. So like for me, this is when an opponent casts their first non-creature spell each turn, draw a card, discard a really big creature, get it for 2 blue, and then also make a body for Razaketh.
I mean, this is probably good for Dog Thrash too.
Yeah.
I would argue maybe it's good for Sisay as well.
I mean,
is legendary.
Maybe it's good for Timna Crom Blue Farm because you're adding to because they already run the dragon collar thing, Darcy.
Yeah.
Dragon Range Channeler.
Yeah.
This is get a bunch of 1/1s that can swing through with Timna. You can sack them to tutors. You can do a lot of things with them.
I also don't think this stops anybody from casting a spell.
Yeah.
This isn't like Aristic. I'm not going to look at it and be like, ooh, I don't need to cast my first spell.
I'm also not going to look at it and go, yeah, I'm okay with my Soul Ring costing 2. It's, okay, my Soul Ring loots somebody a card.
Yeah, and I think that's where the sneakiness of this card comes into play.
Yeah.
Because there's no option. You don't have an option to pay something.
Yeah.
That person does the thing.
Yeah.
So turn 2-ish, you drop this out. By turn 3, you very well could have looted twice and have 2 1/1s on the field.
Yeah.
That's very possible.
I mean, if you go down to 1 card in hand, you're like, someone please kill this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or no, 0 cards, because then you would draw and then discard the card that you drew. But I mean, it's if you put yourself in that situation, you put yourself in that situation. Yeah.
Yeah. I think you just swing. I think that's the play.
If you want to use your Force of Will on this one, I mean, like this is going to go in Hashton. This is everything Hashton wants. Like discards bodies. Like
this is probably the card.
Yeah.
I'll say this is. It's weird because it's almost a 5. There is decks that may not run this, but I do think there are a lot more decks that will run this.
Yeah.
So that being said, this is the Force of Will for me.
Yeah. I'm going to use my Force of Will on it too. There's another card that's coming up that I think is pretty good, but I don't really think it's Force of Will worthy. So we'll do a double Force of Will on the Queen of Dale, and we'll also agree that it's a 4, which kind of shows you the power of this set. So.
Well, I mean, and it's a very strong 4. So like, if I can think of 3 cEDH decks that may use it, off the top, that's kind of hard to say that it's not.
Yeah.
Is it Blue Farm worthy? I don't know.
I think so because it fills up the graveyard and makes dudes.
This is definitely Dog Thrash, I think. And I'm pretty sure, I mean, you said Hashaton.
Oh, yeah.
And I can see this being Sisay because it is legendary.
Yeah.
So.
It's good. If someone was just like, you're wrong, it's a 5, I'd be like, yeah, you're probably right, but I feel like giving it a 4. My gut says a 4. So.
Yeah, the problem is that it also has the 2 mana cost, and it doesn't really game change a lot of stuff. It just kind of adds a little pepper, if you will, to something.
It's the draw and then discard. Like you never accrue value. You're just trading. You're sculpting, which that itself is value. But like it's better to have 12 cards in hand than sculpt that much.
I agree.
All right. That is a 4 for the Queen of Dale with Force of Wills. Bilbo, Thief in the Night. 1 generic and a blue, legendary creature, halfling rogue. Spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand cost 1 less to cast. When Bilbo attacks, you may cast an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell from your graveyard. If an instant or sorcery spell cast this way would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. He is a 2/2.
So
So he just to start out, spells you cast from anywhere other than your hand cost 1 less to cast. So he discounts your commander, which is pretty cool.
I thought about it for Kennen,
Yeah.
and it was a long thought about it, honestly, because the issue I have with it is this could be, if this was a 7 mana cost dragon with flying, I would like it
Yeah.
because I can get back my stuff. I have an ability to swing at somebody and get something out of my graveyard. There's a lot of it's because it's on the ground that I was like, that's sad.
I mean, he so like for example, Arkham costs 3 generic and a blue. So I could play Bilbo and then next turn, instead of doing something different, I can play Arkham on curve. So I can get Arkham out on turn 3 instead of turn 4 with Bilbo. You know, should I have a mana dork that I can just tap every turn and get mana? Yes, you know, that's better. Azula also just, you know, well, Azula costs a lot, and then when Azula comes out, you can cast something from your graveyard for 1 less. So you get the firebending from Azula, you get to copy it. That's if Azula and Bilbo can both attack. Yeah. This is another one that I've seen a lot of people that like aren't necessarily like tournament grinders being like, this card's great, like I have to have it. And I think it's like $30 right now. At you know, before pre-release is when we're recording. It's okay. You know, I don't think it's bad just as a generically good card. Like paying 2 and then your commander costing 1 less is pretty cool. That being said, like I just think it's okay. I don't think it's great. I mean, I think it's a 4 just because it would be really good in Azula.
This may be a silly question too, but you go to attack with Bilbo, you can cast that artifact right then.
Yeah.
So it is
At instant speed, yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he doesn't have to connect. It's just whenever he attacks to you.
So when you declare attackers, it goes on the stack. You can cast it.
Yeah.
I like it.
There's also that mono blue like mermaid that costs 1 generic blue, which I mean it's 3, so you're not really saving yourself anything, but it lets you mess around with like artifacts in your graveyard. Like if you have a graveyard deck, Bilbo's pretty good in it. If you have a giant commander, you could think about putting Bilbo in. I mean, I would kind of argue if you have a giant commander, your giant commander is probably in black and or red, and I would just rather have like rituals in this spot.
Yeah, there's probably a better card in slot for that than this. I just think it was cool if my basalt was taken in Kinnan to be able to get it back.
And I've seen the argument where people are like, well, with Mnemonic Betrayal, this is really cool because like Soul Ring is 0. All of these artifacts that are 2 cost 1. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, but I mean that's such a specific situation where it's like I have Bilbo in hand. The game has gone on long enough to where there's a lot of stuff engraved for a Mnemonic Betrayal to like be relevant. And then also I've seen people be like, oh, it makes my Underworld Breach way better. And it's like Underworld Breach mostly just goes infinite mana already without much help. I mean, I don't really think anybody cares too much about Brain Freeze costing a colorless and a blue or just blue by the time it started. Yeah, you can start it with Lotus Petal instead, but usually a Lotus Petal brain freeze, like you're still just trying to mill LED at that point. Like, how often does Bilbo actually change up your Underworld Breach plan? I don't think enough.
No, I don't think it. I don't think it does enough. I do like what it does, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And it does work with steel effects, so like Op Agent, Ragavan, Praetor's Grasp. But again, like you have both in hand and they're relevant. Like, I mean, and if you can Ragavan turn 1, Bilbo turn 2, connect with Ragavan, hit somebody's Soul Ring, and it costs 1 less, like, great. Like that's really cool.
It is. It is good to note as well that you're not going to be able to, let's say your brain freeze or something gets put to the graveyard. You can't combo off with the brain freeze
Yeah.
because what's going to happen is it just goes to exile
Yeah.
after you cast it.
Yeah.
So
Unless you have a way to like Narset's reversal it to your hand or something.
it's a lot of excess to try to do it. I just, it's better for artifacts, in my opinion. Or if you're going to use maybe like an ad nause, I could see ad nause be okay.
Yeah, and like the reason that I kind of mentioned it for Arkham was turn 2 Bilbo, turn 3 Arkham, eat something with Arkham, move to combat. The thing that I ate, I swing with Bilbo, I get it back out. If it's a artifact creature that ETBs and untaps Arkham, then two triggers in the same turn. It's a thing, like it does stuff. I think it's probably best for Arkham, but at the end of the day, if I'm going through this loop and being like, yeah, if I have Bilbo, I have 2 artifact creatures because I can kill one and eat one, or I can kill one and then recast it. It's like wild thought. What if Bilbo was an artifact creature instead? Then you would have 2. Like, I feel like it's good. Like if there's big commanders that have big colorless costs, he's pretty cool. I wouldn't say he's anything more than a 4. And I feel like 4 is being very generous.
I was going to say a 3.
He definitely goes in Azula, which, I mean, how often do we see Azula? Like, I saw it last weekend, but
if we're going cEDH tournaments, I think it might see some play.
Yeah.
If you want
a generous 4.
If you want to give it a 4, I do like it.
Yeah.
I wish it was flying or had Shroud or something so it wouldn't die.
Yeah, it is Bilbo. Like Shroud would be, or not Shroud, Shadow.
Something.
Yeah.
Some way to, or just unblockable. He's sneaky.
Yeah. No. Make it a 1/2 and unblockable.
Yeah, I'm cool with that too.
That would be great. That'd be too good. But
1/2 and unblock.
Yeah. Because I mean, you just always be able to swing with them and not have to worry about people blocking and killing them.
Yeah.
But they did make him a rogue.
Whatever that means.
There's those like Assassin's Creed cards that if you like swing with a rogue or something like that, like, yeah.
Yeah, I give it a 4. I think it's decent.
Yeah, that's a generous 4 for Bilbo, Thief in the Night. This was the other one that I was like, well, if you're going to use your Force of Will on Queen of Dale, maybe I use my Force of Will on Bilbo. As a non-Magda player, like I feel like if you're a Magda player and you're listening to this podcast, you're just like, oh, there's so many dwarves. It's like, yeah, but I mean, I don't play that deck, so those will be 4s.
Yeah, I think the problem with Magda is it's a very specific deck. Like you're not. I don't want to say you don't use good cards because that's not necessarily true. You don't use generally good cards. These cards you use are very specific to your deck. And Clown Car is an awesome card for Magda, and it's nowhere.
Yeah.
You see Clock of Omens and maybe one other deck.
Arkham does right, but it's not my favorite to go get.
And is it a good card? Yes. Is it really good in Magda? Yes.
Yeah, yeah. All right, next card. Elrond, Moonreader, 2 generic and a blue. Legendary creature, Elf Noble. When you activate an ability of a creature, draw a card. This ability only triggers once each turn. And it has a secondary ability, 5 blue blue. Exile up to 2 other target non-land permanents you control. Return those cards to the battlefield under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. He's a 3/3.
His second ability to me is just bad.
I mean, he could have just not had it.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
like it's a 3-cost 3/3 that whenever you tap your mana dorks, you get to draw a card once per turn. So I mean, it does things, you know, like it keeps things safe. If they have like wild ETBs, you know, you're guaranteed those ETBs again. If somebody field wipes and you need to keep something safe, you can for 7. You know, like at what point would you pay 7 to? I mean, maybe you'd pay 7 to keep Kinnan and Hullbreaker Horror safe, and you know, be okay with whatever people were doing. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I know that it's you can spin this off of Kinnan, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of like the big wizards that are in blue and green. They're wizard avatars because they're not human. Which I mean, you know, in the Hobbit they weren't human. They were like basically angels. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So like the typing's good. This one, I mean, I don't know where it goes. You know, it's pretty good to get a card once each turn. So it's not on your turn. So if you have 3 mana dorks or 4 mana dorks, you can just tap them on your turn and your opponent's turns, and then you get to draw. He's kind of like fair Nadu with those tap untap creatures. So like it's every turn I get to draw a card because I get to tap and tap.
Yeah.
And there's, you know, a blue Alpheto Alchemist that does that. So if you run him as a mono blue commander in casual, you know, you have Alpheto Alchemist that lets you draw 4. Yeah. I don't for 3.
It's a little steep.
Yeah, I mean, like in the right setup, it probably does draw more than Ristic Study. You know, if you're able to get 1 card on everybody's turn. I mean, if you tap a Birds of Paradise for a blue, you get to draw, and then you're like, oh hey, I drew a Swan Song. Cool, Swan Song. Yeah,
It's got some interesting abilities. I mean, if you activate Thrasios,
yeah,
you get to draw a card, and then you draw a card again.
yeah.
So, is it possible? Yeah.
And it is 3 for a 3/3. You know,
Uh, I don't know.
and it's not another creature. So if you do use the 7 cost, you know, you get to draw.
I think it's probably a solid 3.
Yeah, I want to give this a 4. I just don't know what deck is like pining for this. Like, I'm probably not giving it, which it is Elrond the Moonreader, the credit that it deserves. But I think 3 is a pretty safe option for now.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, you could also, there is a world that you cast. I don't know. You cast Thassa, and your Thassa gets shut down,
And then you blink it.
and then you blink Thassa. Well, no, because it would be on the end step.
Well, I mean, you just go, okay, I'll try again. And you have 7 mana for some reason and you couldn't stop. Then you would blink Thassa and be like, okay, you know, on my end step, I'll try again. Move through phases. Can you guys stop it a second time?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a 3. I was going to say maybe put it aside for later and give it a 2, but it's better than that. I just don't see what deck is like, this is it.
Yeah. I mean, like, 3 cost under the right condition draws 4 cards a cycle. Good. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think 3 is fair for this one. That is a 3 for Elrond Moonreader. Next one is Fateful Discovery. It's a 3 generic blue enchantment. Whenever an artifact you control enters, draw a card. Does Urza run this? I'm not too sure. Does Vivi run this? Because Vivi has a bunch of 0 drops. So maybe you hit the button on Vivi, you get Fateful Discovery early, all of your 0 rocks or draw a card. I don't really think that Vivi really wants to just draw 1 card on a spell cast, but it helps. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it does get you to where you need to go.
Yeah.
It is 5 though.
Yeah, and I mean, like, you know, it's one of those things where it's like I would much rather have Curiosity, Obsidian Eye, or the creature that soul bonds. But I do like redundancy in my deck. And with Vivi, I always have access to a bunch of mana. Same with Urza, where it's like every 0 rock nets me a blue. Maybe I can ramp up to Fateful Discovery and then play it. And then I have a 0 rock left over and I try to go from there, you know?
Yeah.
I think 5 is rough. Like, I agree.
And again, I don't think it's good that if this was 2, I think this would be too crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, like, I think 5 is kind of fair for it.
Yeah. And I mean, Marnius too. Well, no. Marnius makes creatures and draws by itself. I mean, but this and Smothering Tithe is kind of funny.
Yeah.
It's I mean, it has synergy with cEDH cards, you know, but I mean, at 5, is it good enough? I don't think so. I would give it a 3. I think that's a pretty generous 3. I, I know that I did say Urza and Vivi, but like I don't think these decks are like, oh, this is an auto include. Like I think those decks are like, oh yeah, I'll think about it. It'll go in my sideboard on my Mox field. Yeah, it'll go in my considering.
I think this is a 2. I
Yeah.
think you put it aside for later. It's good to know. It's also safer for us because if you are looking at this and you're like, this is broke with this card or this card, just put it in the comments.
Leave like 5 comments
All
for
of
the
them.
algorithm. Yeah.
I think that's where it's at, though.
Yeah.
I think, in my opinion, a 2 is probably more where this is. It's a very strong ability, but 5, you're not going to pay 5 and then chain off with.
Yeah. I think this is I'm desperate and I drew it in Urza card, which I mean might see some play. I don't know. That is a 2.5 for Fateful Discovery.
These are our whole numbers.
Yeah. Well, you're a 2. We're whole numbers. You're a 2. I'm a 3. We average it out.
No, that's fair.
Wizard Staff. 1 generic and a blue. Artifact equipment. Equipped creature has prowess. Whenever its controller casts a non-creature spell, that creature gets +1/+1 till end of turn. If an ability of equipped creature triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Equip Wizard 1. So this on Vivi is silly. It's pay 2 to cast it, get a Vivi trigger, equip it. Every Vivi trigger after that is basically tripled. Because every trigger on Vivi happens twice. And then you get a prowess trigger. So you get ping ping and then another buff on Vivi. So every spell that you cast stores 3 mana in Vivi for that turn. This is also good with Krark. Like not that we see Krark Sakashima, but like doubling Krark's triggers for 3 is kind of silly too.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, 4, you know. Well,
yeah.
Easy. Yeah. It's called Wizard Staff. Like they could not have made this an easier card to figure out. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean wizards are always going to be a thing.
And we do have a friend that plays Ral, and they basically were just like, I don't want the Ral trigger to happen twice. Like that's not good for me.
Yeah, because I mean, that's very specific though, because you want the storm,
Yeah.
not necessarily the triggers.
Yeah. There's also like another equipment. I don't think we put it in, but it makes your spells cost less for how big the creature is if it's a wizard. And that was people are talking about a RAL card, and it's like, well, he already discounts him by 1, and his power is 1. So,
Mm.
I didn't include it, but I did see people talking about it. So that is a 4 for wizard staff
I
for
agree.
VV and Krark partner decks that have blue.
It's
Krark Shakashima. Yeah.
definitely a solid 4.
Yeah. We're into the black now. This is Gollum Riddlemaster. 1 generic and a black. Legendary creature, halfling horror. As Gollum enters, choose odd or even. 0 is even. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with mana value of the chosen quality, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Put a 1/1 counter on Golem. Each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Draw a card.
I was really excited when I read this, like on the pass by, and
Yeah.
I was like, it's like Talion.
Yeah. Talion, but
Only happens once.
choose one. Yeah, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Notably, not this turn. So you put a 1/1 counter on Golem, which I mean you have a 4/2 for 2. That's pretty good. Draw a card, pretty good. You know, like he for 2, he eventually gets his value in. It's slow though. Like that's really the only thing.
It's slow, and the ability is not going to be best in slot for your deck, in my opinion.
Yeah. And you know, of course, if you have a way to flicker them every turn, or you know, sack them and return from the graveyard, cool. You know, but like that's just win at that point.
Yeah, there's different ways to win. It's in black.
Yeah,
you have your tutors, you have your stuff.
I give it a 1.
I think set it aside for later. I think it's good to know. No,
I just think it's
a
neat.
1.
Yeah, I mean, if I pull this in the pre-release, like this is a really strong card in the pre-release, but like outside of standard, like,
meh.
Yeah. That is a 1 for Gollum Riddlemaster, a mythic. Now is the better Golem. Golem the Abandoned, or Gollum. I always called him Golem whenever I read the book as a kid, and I was just like, whenever I watched the movies, I was just like, I've been saying that wrong.
I've been saying that wrong for years.
But I played Dragon Warrior Monsters, and like Golem was like one of the like big dudes. So I was just like, yeah, it's just that name. Gollum the Abandoned, 1 generic and a black, legendary creature, halfling horror. Golem can't block. Gollum?
Gollum.
Oh, Gollum? Every time I say it, I'm just like, it just sounds like Golem, even. Gollum.
Yeah.
Can't block. When Gollum enters, exile up to 1 target card from an opponent's graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. 2, sacrifice an artifact or creature. Return this card from the graveyard to your hand. Activate only as a sorcery. So this is an uncommon, and for cEDH, it's better than the mythic, because this card, basically in Timna Dargo, it's sack Gollum for 2, cast sack him for 2, cast Dargo for red, tap Dargo for red with Relic of Legends. Sack Dargo, use the 2 from your altar to recast Gollum. Exile a card from an opponent's graveyard. Each opponent loses 2 life. So as long as there's 20 cards in all of your opponent's graveyards, so like 7 apiece probably at that point in the game, when you have this set up, you can win. So if anybody has wheeled, this is an easy way to win. I mean, you need Dargo, who's in the command zone, but Dargo needs to be castable for only red. Which, I mean, if you're sacking Gollum to start with, you just need 2 more things. You have to have an altar out, and you also have to have Relic of Legends out. So it's a 3-card combo with your commander, but that card that deck just gets there. So it's a thing that some people are considering. The only thing that's bad about it is it's conditional. So like if you assemble it and you're like, oh great, and then your opponents like don't have graveyards for some reason, then you're like, oh well, I can't win. Yeah. Is it a big ask to have 7 cards in each opponent's graveyard? Maybe not, but wouldn't you rather have a win condition that just is not conditional? Just when you assemble it, you get to win.
I think that it's sneaky, and that's what Tim Nadargo likes.
Yeah.
Will it be best in slot for Tim Nadargo? I don't know. I don't play the deck enough, but I could definitely see this go in there.
Yeah.
And if that's there, I would say it's a 4 for sure.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring it up. I know this will see play in a certain deck. I think it's an option in Tim Nadargo.
Oh, yeah, you're probably 3.
So 3, yeah. It just has potential. Like it has the ability to cause a loop, and if it has the ability to cause a loop, I wanted to include it. So
yeah, it's uncommon.
Yeah,
if you're pulling cards at your pre-release, you could get this.
I specifically included the other mythic just to be like, this isn't good. Next one, this is an uncommon.
Yeah.
Which I always appreciate that Wizards of the Coast does that. So thank you. That is a 3 for Gullum the Abandoned. I know he like sounds like he's coughing, so it's like Gullum. Gullum. This next one is Inside Information X black sorcery. Exile the top X cards of target opponent's library. You may play those cards this turn. If you cast a spell this way, pay life equal to its mana value, then pay its mana cost. This is just fun. Like if you're looking at a turn and you're like, oh man, I'm black green, maybe I'm playing Dina. I don't know. It's like I have a bunch of mana, but not really much to do with it. And then you draw this card. You're like, okay, I can Inside Information. This deck is probably the best. I can go 6 cards deep and they're just all mine for life. Like that's pretty cool. Also, if you just somehow generate in infinite mana, you can literally just go, okay, I'll cast Inside Information. Your entire library's gone, and I can cast it for life. Let me look through your library, and I'll assemble one of your win conditions. Like, oh, you have Thassa in hand. Okay, well, do you have any part of Underworld Breach in hand? No, you're not going to tell me. Cool. Let me look through your deck. Oh, yeah. For 4 life, I'll just cast Underworld Breach. Well, you can't Brain Freeze because it doesn't go back to your graveyard. It goes to the other person's.
No, you could Thassa, or you could I don't know, Adnaz. You'd probably be looking for like a value engine or a value card there.
Yeah, and like more often than not, you're probably just gonna go like, I have 6 mana and nothing else to do with it. Like I'll go 6 deep. Oh, I just so happen to hit Thassa combo and a counter. Like.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, right? You add not, or well, you hit. Let's say you hit a blue farm player.
Yeah.
Right. You go 100 cards. You should be able to win there.
Yeah.
And not only should you be able to win, you can cast the mana rocks.
Yeah.
Can you pay 0?
Yeah. You may pay life equal to its mana value, rather than pay its mana cost.
So if it's a 0, you can be like, I'm going to pay 0 and cast it.
I believe since it has mana value, you're actually able to pay the X in X spells. I would like a judge to like confirm that, of course, but specifically because it says mana value, I believe you can pay in X.
I would be more on the thoughts of you steal all of their mana rocks, so you spend. I mean, I guess you already have infinite mana if you're hitting 100 cards. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I was thinking.
I mean, also just being like, I have 8 mana for this turn and nothing to do with it. Dude, that looks like they're probably going to win. I'll hit the top 8 cards of your deck. Oh man, look, Underworld Breach is in there. Not casting that.
Yeah, it's just gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
It's It has its uses. I mean, should you put a card in your deck that at sorcery speed is just like, I don't have anything to do this turn? But I mean, like in cEDH, you're going to hit pretty good cards. Like if you go 6 card deep on a cEDH deck, like imagine like hitting like Winota and just being like, all right, 6 cards deep, let me see them. Like,
I wouldn't suggest hitting Winota with this.
yeah.
I think you're
Just big creatures like Kinnan would be funny.
Kinnan would be okay.
I'll give it
maybe Winota. I don't know.
I'll give it a 3.
I think it's a solid 3.
Yeah, I think it's a good 3. It's on the higher end of 3, but I think it is a 3.
You could argue a 4. I just don't know the deck that would run it specifically.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really think Crick runs this because they have better things to spend their life on,
and they spend their life.
Yeah,
that's the problem.
If I was still playing Dina for lulz, I would probably put this in and test it out. Again, for lulz, you know, like
I do see this in more of a black green scenario.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Yep, 3 for inside information. Next one is the Master of Lake Town. 1 generic black, legendary creature, human advisor. Death touch, whenever a player loses life, that player mills that many cards. When the Master of Lake Town dies, draw a card for each graveyard with 7 or more cards in it. So this guy I wanted to bring up because he has the effect of Mind Crank, and there's a lot of Mind Crank combos. I forget the name of the card that combos with Mind Crank. Blood Chief Ascension, there you go. So Mind Crank and Blood Chief Ascension, whenever Blood Chief Ascension, I'll just read Blood Chief Ascension. Blood Chief Ascension enchantment at the beginning of each end step. If an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, you may put a quest counter on it. Whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, if Blood Chief Ascension has 3 or more quest counters on it, you may have that player lose 2 life. If you do, gain 2 life. So they lose 2 life, they mill 2. Because a card goes into their graveyard from anywhere, they lose 2 life, they mill 2, and it just kills them outright. I mean, it's a card that when Blood Chief Ascension is turned on, it wins the game. So it's a 2-card combo. One of them is in the command zone.
Blood Chief's Ascension usually comes online within a few turns.
Yeah. And like you would have, and this guy himself is a 3/2 death touch. He also, when he dies, draw a card for each graveyard with 7 or more cards in it. Like he has a lot of relevant text for cEDH. I don't think this is a cEDH commander because you don't just drop Blood Chief Ascension and go, all right, guys, just you know, if Master of Lake Town comes out, I win. Like it turns off people's ancient tombs. They can't tap too many. I mean, anytime they put in a shock land, everybody has to put in their shock lands tapped. If Blood Chief Ascension's out, you know, it's funny, it's gimmicky. Black has gotten a lot of good cards. You also have Doctor Doom now, the black one that'll win the game.
Most decks that are Dimir run Blood Chief's Ascension for a second win with maybe Memnonic.
Yeah.
So
because they all leave the graveyard, go to exile, and then they fall back down to the graveyard, which triggers.
You just ruffle them there. I think that in those decks, it's possible. Do you see a lot of Dimir decks in tournaments? No.
Italian was about it, yeah. and this is just mono black.
Oh, as a commander, I was thinking as like a piece.
No, I like if I was gonna run this guy, I would, because he's 3. The piece that you need in the deck costs 1, and then if you play the 1 cost and it goes online, you just win. Like when anybody does anything that sends a card to the graveyard, you just win. So like, it's a cool interaction. I mean, just Master of Lake Town and then a 1-cost enchantment that you got to find in your deck in mono black, and you have to find a way to turn it on. Like it does take 3 turns to turn it on. So like, people have to.
Maybe you can turbo it though.
Well, people so it takes 3 turns. So people will literally just go, okay, well, Master of Lake Town is turned on. I'll counter if you do this, I'll counter your spell, and then we lose. Do you guys want to tie? Like
Yeah.
I don't really feel like it would get through with the thing that it wants to do. You have to include a bunch of pingers. You have to include a bunch of mill cards and stuff like that. That being said, though, I mean, it's cool. Like anytime I see a commander and then a 1-card win con in the deck, I'm always going to be like, this is pretty cool.
I'm curious as if it would be turbo-y.
It could be.
I mean, if you think about it, you get all of the rituals in black, right? You get all of the tutors.
How do you turn Blood Chief Ascension on though?
Oh yeah, it has to be at the each step. Well, how many of them do you need? Is it 4?
3. So
3?
like, I mean, you could get 4 mana and have Blood Chief Ascension in hand. Like you could have Blood Chief Ascension, Dark Ritual, Lotus Petal, Swamp. And then you could just put them both out and be like, all right, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's cards that drop cards to the graveyard, right? I mean, you can.
So you don't care about that. You care about turning Blood Chief Ascension on.
But that's what I'm saying. I think that Blood Chief's Ascension. What does it read exactly again? I'm sorry, because I think that you could do. I feel like you could play certain things.
So whenever a card is put into an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, so if they use an instant or sorcery,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So you cast Blood Chief's Ascension, and then you play a card on your turn that mills somebody 1 card, and then on their turn you do it again. Like if they play anything, so then they have 1 turn.
But this isn't turned on. So the moment it's turned on, everybody loses. Blood Chief Ascension, by default, does nothing. At the beginning of each end step, if an opponent lost 2 or more life this turn, you may put a quest counter on Blood Chief Ascension.
Oh, it's 2 or more life.
That's all it does. So when it gets turned on, anytime a card would hit an opponent's graveyard from anywhere, it deals 2 damage. So there'd be no way, like you have to turn Blood Chief Ascension on so fast, no one can do anything about it.
If an opponent lost 2. Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
I was reading it the other way, so that if they lose a card.
Yeah, the more you're talking about it, I was like, no, that was not.
I was like, this could work. We could do this in a turn or 2. No,
I mean, it would be funny to just put those both out on turn 1 and then be like, I hope you guys don't have Shocklands. But I mean, yeah. I mean, it also, like, whenever a player loses life, that player mills that many cards. Like, I mean, you don't necessarily want Blue Farm to mill a card every time they tap a City of Brass, but I mean, in a situation where they're not prepared to Underworld Breach, it is kind of devastating to just be like, all right, I'll tap my Ancient Tomb. I have to mill 2. Oh, well, that sucks. Yeah, that's Thassa, and I have Taint Pact in hand. Is this a cEDH commander? I'm probably spending too much time on it. No, but I mean, it's a really cool tier 4 commander, like tier 3. Yeah.
I think it's a 3 on our scale too.
Someone will try it out in cEDH, and maybe some tournament it'll do pretty okay at, because people won't necessarily put 2 and 2 together. But
that's rough.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, also, like, if you can find a way to, like, get infinite mana and sack them, you could draw your whole deck. If anybody has a graveyard with 7 or more cards in it, like, he has a lot of relevant text.
Well, you only draw 1.
Yeah. So if you have infinite mana and you can sack them, you just keep casting them over.
Casting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. I mean, he's cool. I think he is a 3, but a really cool, funny 3. Next card. Oh, that was a 3 for the Master of Lake Town. Stony voiced goblins. One generic and a black creature goblin bard. When this creature enters, each opponent discards a card. It's a 1/1. If you have a way to flicker it 5 times, you drop your opponent's hands. I don't think there's been a creature that does each opponent discards a card before. I think there's like Mind Leech that target opponent draws a card. I'll check that, but
This is a common too.
yeah.
When I looked at it, I was like, we're just talking about goblins here. We just we just want to talk about goblins.
The fact that it is a goblin makes it
It's relevant. Yeah. There's a lot of different goblin things. But I mean, it's nice to see not necessarily a cEDH card that's a goblin, but goblins in general. I don't know if this is as good because it is 2 for a 1/1 that drops, everybody discards 1 card, or each opponent rather.
Yeah, and I mean, like, 2 costs to just play a card and each opponent discards a card. That's not terrible either. Like, are you playing that in cEDH? No. But if you can find a way to flicker it, it's pretty funny.
I do think that this is one of those. I don't know if I would put it aside for later just because it's probably going to be printed a lot. So you might not need to.
I just think it's neat. It's a 1 for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking to myself, I was like, yeah, I'd want to know that this exists because this could be played. You might have a good combo with it, but
I have a really big box that has all of my, like, this might be something I have to go dig out, and like it would go in there, but it wouldn't go in my cEDH box.
With the goblins punching and laughing at them. It says Hobbit hole. That's what I was happy about.
Yeah. Side note, do you know there's a card called Hobbit Hole?
No.
So it does exactly what Evolving Wilds does, basically, but it's called Hobbit Hole. And whenever you tap Evolving Wilds, everybody goes, I'm going to crack Evolving Wilds, because it's always been like looked at as like an egg. So you like tap it, you crack it, and then the basic land that you want comes out of it. So now you'll be able to go to the pre-release, and I mean, this is a family podcast, but you'll be able to go to the pre-release and go, hey, I'm going to crack this Hobbit Hole. Everybody good with that? Cool. I'm going to go get a swamp.
Oh, God. Yeah.
That's funny because of something in the book.
Because hobbits are normally clean.
Yeah. If no one, if you don't understand this reference, don't ask anybody about it. It's for people that read the book. There's a specific line, and that's why it's funny. Don't ask your parents. Don't ask anybody.
So this is Stony Boy's Goblins.
Stony Boy's Goblins, a 1, but I got to talk about the Hobbit Hole. So.
That's awesome.
Supper for Spiders. 1 generic and a black. Instant, put onto the battlefield under your control all creature cards in your opponent's graveyards that were put there from the battlefield this turn. They are food artifacts with 2 sacrifices artifact, gain 3 life.
They lose all types and subtypes.
Yeah, so like you steal away the creatures. So if somebody's trying to do like, a loop with like Gravecrawler, and they sack Gravecrawler, you can be like, okay, cool. Now that Gravecrawler is sacked, on the trigger of the treasure token, I'm just gonna Supper for Spiders it, and it's gone, and we don't lose now. Also, you can Culling Ritual and then follow up your Culling Ritual with Supper for Spiders, and now you have all of the creatures you just destroyed as food tokens. And maybe you're in Cabbage Man too, so your Cabbage Man isn't gone, and you just have a bunch of foods now that are also creatures.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Somebody could be trying to go for a Devoted Druid line, and they kill their Devoted Druid, and then they cast the squirrel. And then you're like, okay, on the squirrel cast, I'm going to Supper for Spiders. I'm going to steal your Devoted Druid. Now it's my Devoted Druid, and it's a food. So I go infinite green right here.
I thought they lost all of their...
They don't lose their abilities. So they lose all types and subtypes. But that's relevant because Devoted Druid says you can untap it for a -1/-1 counter. So because it's not a creature anymore, it just goes infinite green. Because you can put a billion -1/-1 counters on an artifact, and that artifact stays around. So it's like relevant that it loses its creature type.
Yeah, that would be pretty broke if you could pull your own Devoted Druid out.
Yeah, and you know it doesn't work with yours, but I mean follow a culling ritual up with Supper for Spiders, like wild.
It's pretty cool. Yeah.
You know, it's like now I have all of your mana dorks, or now I have a Kennen. You know, which they have to run Kennen in the 99. It doesn't work for their commander unless they send their commander to the graveyard for some reason. Which,
or if you have a clone. Well, no, because you would kill them all. Never mind.
yeah, the clone would enter as a food, and then it would become a copy of something that's left on the battlefield, I guess.
Yeah, I was thinking something else. Kennen would die on a culling ritual. So
yeah, if he was in the 90, like if Sisei's running them, then he could be like, cool, I have food Kennen. You know, it seems fun. It seems like it can do a lot of stuff. Like, should you be doing something better after a culling ritual? Like, absolutely. Like, is it good enough? No, but I mean, it's janky and it's cool and it's funny. So, I think it's a 2. I think it's strong for what it is, but I don't really think, like, if you're gonna have a 2-card combo, you kind of want it to win, not just be like, haha, I have all of your mana dorks pass. Yeah.
no, I mean, and we might be missing something here. I think that there's a lot that this could do.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the problem is it depends on what your opponents did, so you have no control over it, because you could gift your opponents like creature tokens, but the creature tokens wouldn't be in the graveyard when you cast Supper for Spiders. So like, there's not really many ways to force a creature onto an opponent. Like, could you absolutely sudden substitution your Devoted Druid and then wipe the field and then Supper for Spiders and go infinite green? Like, yeah, but
I don't know.
yeah. I know, because they would go into your own graveyard when it died, though. So that still doesn't work.
I think it might see some play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that it's something that we haven't really seen. I mean, for 5 mana, you can deluge.
Yeah.
And then bring them all back.
Yeah.
So maybe you pull an even greater card than, I don't know, maybe pay 10 into deluge and get something.
I think it's a good reward for controlling the board. I mean, it has good synergy. It's a good combo. Are we really looking for creature steal synergies in cEDH? Like, maybe some commander would.
Yeah.
I could see it being a solid 3.
I think
like on the lower end of 3.
And I mean, you could argue too, just because we don't know, but this has a really good ability.
Yeah, and it's 2 at instant speed too. Like, it's not even sorcery. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, say somebody field wipes and then you do it on their turn and get back everything you can.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, that is a 2 for, or no, sorry, that was a 3 for the 2-cost spell, Supper for Spiders. Now we're into the red. Desolation of Smog, 2 generic, red, sorcery. Desolation of Smog deals 3 damage to each non-dragon creature. Add 4 mana in any combination of colors. Spend this mana only to cast dragon spells. We have some friends more acquaintances, that play Dragon. And, I mean, a sorcery that wipes the field of, all the stuff that needs to be wiped for 3, and then they turn their red rituals into 4 colored pips for Sign of Dragon seems pretty good. I mean, how many dragon commanders do we see play? I mean, Corvold sometimes, Sign of Dragon sometimes, Tiamat sometimes, but you're not casting Tiamat ever. You know, like
No,
you're trying to food chain or just get the dragons cost free and just go ham.
I think that
Um,
it's I think that it's cool that Red has a quote unquote field wipe.
yeah. You know, I think if you're playing Sign of Dragon, you're like, I have a pretty much a field wipe in cEDH, and I can follow up by casting Dragon after. Is
Yeah.
pretty cool because if you have 5 red mana, you cast this. If it resolves, you get Dragon because you use the red, and then you get all of the other pips, and then you play Dragon,
Hmm.
and the field's wipe, and everybody's put so far behind that you probably get a turn rotation to do your thing.
Hmm.
How many Dragon decks do we see? How many Corville decks do we see? I haven't seen one in years.
I thought
Probably.
Scion was less, and then you pay 5 for it to change. And I could be wrong.
What do you mean less?
Like I thought Scion of the Ur Dragon was kind of like Sisay, where it was no, it's 5.
Yeah,
Never
no,
mind.
it's all color pips, and then you pay 2.
In my mind it was backwards. I thought it was 3 to search your library for a dragon. Well, I thought it was 5 to search for a dragon, and then it was 3 to cast.
Oh yeah, you'd see him a lot more if he was just 3.
But yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really say that Scion is like a crazy cEDH deck. It's been over a year and a half since I've seen anybody enter it in any tournament I've been in, and we probably have like 30 tournaments under our belt since then. That was the Atlanta tournament that I went against it.
Mm.
Um, I'd have to give it a 3. Like
3 is solid. I do think it's good to know that this is available.
And I will say, like, if you're playing Scion of Dragon, this is probably an auto include. Like, it's cool. Yeah, but I would give it a 3.
3's where it's at.
As a 3 for Desolation of Smog. There are going to be cards that I just read and I say Magda card, and I give them a 4, and we go on. So, Dwarven Mauler is a single red creature dwarf warrior. Equip abilities you activate that target this creature cost 2 less to activate. It's a 2/1. I'm going to give it a 4 because it's a Magda card. It's a 2/1 1-cost dwarf that if you have Conqueror's Flail, all of a sudden your turn is silenced at sorcery speed. So you play Dwarven Mauler. It costs 2 to equip, but it costs 2 less, so it costs 0 to equip. And notice that like this doesn't say the effect costs a minimum of 1, so it can discount it all the way to 0. You drop Dwarven Mauler, you all of a sudden are like, okay, for 0, I'll equip a Conqueror's Flail to it. And then everybody has to scramble and figure out what they're going to do right then and there. Yeah.
Most people can't do anything about an equipped.
Yeah. And I mean, is Magda currently running Conqueror's Flail? No. But also, does Magda want more 2/1 dwarfs for 1? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's a 4.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I know a Magda player, and I asked them how many cards they were looking at in the set, and they said 5, and all 5 of them are probably
Yeah. Yeah. I had a buddy reach out the other day about the Hobbit set, and that they should probably stay on Magda because Magda was getting so many things.
Yeah. And I mean, like, some of them aren't just like, oh my god, this is going to change the deck. Like, they're just like, oh hey, this Dwarven Mauler is good, and maybe I fit Conqueror's Flail in at some point, so I have a silence. Yeah.
That's so silly.
Next card. That was a 4 for Dwarven Mauler. Gandalf, Goblin's Bane, 2 generic and a red. Legendary creature, Avatar Wizard. The effect of the creature is whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Gandalf gets +1/+1 till end of turn and deals 1 damage to each opponent. It's a 2/3. The thing that we're kind of looking at it for is Flame Shape, 1 generic and a red. Sorcery, Adventure. Look at the top 2 cards of your library next to them face down. For as long as they remain exiled, you may play them if you control a wizard. This is a really good effect in RAL because you will always control a wizard if you're trying to win. and you look at the top 2 cards of your library and you exile them face down, no one else knows what they are. They stay exiled, and at any point, if you have Ral out, you can play them, so it includes lands, and they cost 1 less. And Flame Shape itself with Ral out costs red. So it's a really good dig a little bit deeper into my library card. You don't have to cast them right there. No one but you knows what they are. And then eventually, if you really need to just manually storm, and you're like, I could probably manually cast 40 cards, you just cast Gandalf from the adventure zone, and you're like, cool. I bring out Gandalf. He pings everybody. I don't know if I can win, but I can definitely cast 40 spells. I can show you a reiterate. Well, reiterate is just copy, so you just have to cast them all, but you could just do a loop that's like, I'll reiterate flashback. Every single card in my graveyard has flashback. I can cast for sure 40 spells.
Yeah, no. They don't really care. Like, Ral doesn't even care about the wizard part, like the actual creature.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a plus.
Yeah.
It's the 1 red, because with Ral,
like, do you get to flash this back? No, but the creature stays in your adventure zone, which is basically exile, and you have access to a pinger at any point you need it. It's probably one of the better spells cast, like, printed for Ral recently, and they've gotten a lot. They got Hex Magic, they got Vision of Love. Like, just in the last 2 sets, there's been like 4 cards that they're looking at. So yeah, this is a 4.
4 for Ral.
Yep, it's a mythic, which should be. Smog the Magnificent, 2 generic red legendary creature dragon. Flying haste. When Smog attacks, he deals damage equal to the number of treasures you control to any target. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a treasure token for 3. So flying haste, the longer he's out, the more treasure tokens that he makes, the more damage he does. Is this a cEDH card? No, I just think it's neat. It's a 1, but
I was gonna say it's Smog.
Yeah, I mean it's 4 flying haste, so like, Blue Farm wouldn't run this, but flying haste, you get a card draw off Timna. If he stays around a turn, he refunds a treasure. It's a 4 cost dragon that has flying and haste. That's a 4/3 that slowly makes treasures. Kind of hard to discount. So would I keep it in my cEDH pile? Maybe not. But would I put it in my, like, if I ever need to dig through a box, this is the first one I go to? Yeah. Which, I mean, that's what the 1s are. So
yeah.
All right, that was a 1 for Smog the Magnificent. Now we're into the green. The Notary Hobbits. 3 generic green legendary creature, halfling advisor. When the notary, yeah, when the notary hobbits enter, if they're not a token, create 2 tokens that are copies of them, except the tokens aren't legendary. Tap, add colorless for each halfling you control. It's a 1/1.
So they each tap for 3?
Yeah. So if you have Shang-Chi out, you spend 5 and you get 9.
That's
5 on a creature spell, and then you immediately get 9 when it resolves.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a mana ability, so no one can mess around with it. Also, just for the people that see the card, doesn't the guy on the far right look like the main character from the Pikachu movie? He was the main character along with Pikachu and Detective Pikachu.
I'm talking about Ryan Reynolds.
No, the main character.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah, I guess so. I was like, Ryan Reynolds? No.
It was funny because I was just like, I saw the card and I was like, that looks, and like they're also in they're in a lot of other movies, but I think, like, for people that listen to the podcast, they probably have seen Detective Pikachu. It looks like that actor to me.
I think it's the same guy that played in Dungeons and Dragons too.
Yeah. So two nerdy movies. Yeah, this is literally why it's in. Like, in Rocco, I don't know if Rocco is running Shang-Chi right now, but I mean, even in Rocco, you pay 5 and then you pass, and then you have 9 generic for Rocco next turn. It's cool. It's a 2, you know.
I think it's 2.
Yeah. It's just funny it's a green. If you have a tap, like if you have a haste enabler, it's pay 5, get 9.
I wonder.
And that's not counting if you have Delayed Halfling, because
I wonder if I put this in Kennen.
I mean, if you put Shang-Chi in, probably.
Yeah, I think the other version of Kennen may run this. The Manadork version might do it.
Yeah. It's cool.
Yeah.
You want to bump it up to a 2 then?
I think it's a 3.
A 3?
I
Okay.
do.
Yeah,
But
I'll give it a 3.
we're seeing that the Kennen version with the Manadorks is kind of catching some traction. And if it does, I mean, maybe Rogthras plays this. Maybe.
Yeah.
It's 3 bodies for 5.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think this is a bad card by any means. It's just, what do you do with 9 colorless? I mean, spin Thrasius twice, or, you know, up to 5 times if you have a reduction. Yeah.
Well, you pay 5. Let's say you have Gaia's Cradle and you're at Gaia's taps for 3. So you pay 2, or you tap 3 lands to play it.
Yeah, you pay 5, and then all of a sudden you go from 2 creatures to 5 creatures.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. Yeah, I think a 3 is fair for Notary Hobbits.
It's a weird. I don't think we've ever seen. Not that we've never seen. This is something that's recently never happened. Like in the last few sets, where you have a Manadork that splits into 3 Manadorks.
Yeah, the only thing about it is it's a 1/1, which is kind of scary for 5.
I don't think they care though.
Yeah. All right. The 3 for Notary Hobbits. I don't know why I can't say that. Radagast, the of Rosgobble. 2 generic, green, legendary creature, avatar wizard. The first creature spell you cast each turn costs 2 less to cast, and it can be cast as though it had flash. It's a 2/5.
That's kind of crazy.
We already have a commander that just says your green spells have flash, I think.
That's pretty crazy. Every time I think of Radagast, though, I think of the Hobbit. Is it the Hobbit movie? And he has like poop all in his hair.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, we have Yeva Nature's Herald that is 2 and a green flash. You may cast green creature spells as though they have flash. You know, that being said, maybe Kennen, you flip into this, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, hey, you know, my the fairy that grants flash, now it costs 2. You know, or like,
yeah,
because it's each turn, so it counts your opponent's turns too. So you can start just popping stuff in. So I mean, like, maybe this in Seedborn, you're just like, oh, okay, cool. I'll start flashing out stuff on you guys' turn.
Maybe.
Yeah, I don't think this is a I don't think this is a cEDH commander, because we just literally have a better version of it. But maybe it's a backup in that commander in case you get locked out of that commander. I don't know. It seemed relevant.
I think it's cool.
2.
I mean, for 4 isn't a bad price for it.
Yeah. It's not a human.
Yeah, it's not a human. I think I wouldn't mind flipping into this with Kennen, but I don't know if it's better than some of the other slots for it.
Yeah. I mean, pay 1 more and you have Seedborn Muse. Pay 1 less and you have Cabbage Man, which, you know, but.
Well, I can't flip into Cabbage.
Oh, you know, yeah, I'm saying like with Green Sun.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's good.
I will say there's not very many like 4 cost creatures that I want to go get with Green Sun, but like if I have Green Sun, I'd almost always pay 3 and then go get Cabbage Man or this Speaker.
Or Bambi.
Yeah, there's so many good 3 cost green cards, and
I think
4, yeah. Not 4 as what I'm rating this. I would give it a 2.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
I think 2 is good. And I'm sure, I mean, it's always good to know these creatures that give flash,
Mhm.
at least to have an idea about them.
Yeah.
And then this discounts the first one.
Yeah.
So,
And you know, this one is also just first creature spell, period. So like you could just be sneaky and then on somebody's end step be like, cool, I'll pay a white. Voice of Victory is on my side of the field. You pass in. Yeah.
yeah.
Like this is much better in a deck that's not mono green. So it wouldn't be a commander. I'll give it a 2 for Radagast of Rosgobble.
2 solid.
Yeah. Through the Forest Gate, 6 generic green sorcery. Look at the top 20 cards of your library. Put any number of land cards from among them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. You gain 8 life. Lumra.
Yeah.
It's a 4 for Lumra.
Yeah.
I think Lumra would absolutely run this. Like,
you think Lumra would pay 8 for it?
Yeah. Because they pay 8 for that World Gorger thing or like that creature, which I mean, much better to cast a creature than a sorcery. But I mean, to have 2 of those effects in your deck, pretty good.
I agree.
Yeah. Well, that one's easy. 4 for Through the Forest Gate. This is Bard, King of Dale, for generic white blue legendary creature, human noble archer. Reach vigilance. If you would draw a card except for the first one, you would draw on each of your draw steps. Draw 2 cards instead. If 1 or more tokens would be created under your control, twice that many of those tokens are created instead. Purely in this review because of Hashton. So with Hashton, you pay 2 in generic and a blue. All of your card draws are doubled. And then all of your tokens, you make 2. So whenever you put out a copy of a different creature, its ETB triggers twice, even if it's legendary, which not a bunch of ETBs, but still it both parts of the text are relevant for Hashaton. No one else is paying 6 for this. Hashaton is not paying 6 for this. Hashaton is paying 3.
Yeah, that's nasty.
Yeah. That being said, like I said, I don't really have a bunch of ETB creatures. Like really Thassa is kind of it. I'd give it a 2. If you end up pulling it, like it does relevant things. It's just really expensive. So
yeah, I give it a 2 as well.
Yeah. Smog, Wicked Worm. Every time I see that, I always think that worm is spelled wrong. I think it should be WYRM, but we have some Lord of the Rings fans. They're like, no, he refers to it as worm. But if you ever play the card, you have to say it like Smog, Wicked Worm. 3 generic, black, red, legendary creature, dragon. Flying, when Smog enters, create X tapped creature, when Smog enters, create X tapped treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts your opponents control. Whenever you cast a spell, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, you draw a card and lose 1 life. This is Dockside at Home, Temu version of Darkside. It's tapped though, so like it's kind of funny that they did make Dockside. Kinda, but not really.
For 5.
Like it's so close. Like you can't even like yeah, it's tough. You would have to have a something that like a amulet of vigor or something like that for it to be even relevant to like cycle, like keep casting over and over to get infinite mana. And even then you have to get to like 6. No, because you're probably paying like 2 to 3 to flicker it, so you'd have to get to 8, which your opponents probably might have 8 artifacts, but it's a lot of work to probably go infinite treasures.
Do a lot of maybes and probablys.
Yeah, I would just feel bad if I didn't talk about 5 cost bad Dockside. So I think it's neat. I think it's a 1.
Yeah, I think it's a 1 as well.
That is a 1 for Smog Wicked Worm. Next. Throndiel, the Elven King. 2 generic black, green, blue legendary creature, Elf Noble. Throndiel has all activated abilities of all elf cards in your graveyard. Whenever another legendary elf you control enters, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. He's a 5/6. I don't really think this is a cEDH commander. It's ooze, necrotic ooze, but in 3 colors,
Well,
elf tribal.
I think the problem is the legendary elf. I think if it was just elf, maybe you could see this being a little more viable.
Yeah, and also like I know that was it Marlin is in the same color, and she also is kind of elf tribal-ish. So like, do you put this in the 99 of her, and then whenever you go like infinite?
Is Marlin an elf?
Yeah, the new, I think she's an elf fairy, the Lorwyn one. I'm pretty sure.
I'm trying to look at it now. I don't know. Yeah. I was
Yeah.
just thinking fairies.
Elf fairy noble.
I was like, I think it's a fairy.
Yeah. But it's one of those things that like if you put in the 99 and you go infinite food chain, you get to draw your entire deck, and also, you know, it's not a may draw 2 cards. It is you're drawing it. You know?
Yeah.
I really think I'm trying to oversell this card in cEDH. I think it's, as far as a cEDH commander, it's a 1. Unless I'm like just missing like some crazy combos that make it worthwhile. But
I've seen a lot of people talk about it and they were like, this is the next commander. I'm going to do this. But I think it was all just casual thoughts.
yeah, so I've seen a lot of people just being like, this is busted. And it's like, okay, well, how? And they're like, I don't know.
It broke.
Yeah.
No, I do think that if it was all elves, I could see that be a little bit better. But the fact that it's, just legendary elves, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, even Elf Ball has kind of fallen off. So, a 5-cost elf that requires 3 pips. I don't think typal decks really do very well in cEDH outside of Magda, and like Magda's a huge exception. But
Yeah, I just think it's neat.
Yeah, I'll give it a 1. If we're wrong and there's just like some super efficient combo outside of Thassa's Oracle that makes it worth playing, like let us know. But I've looked at a lot of the discussions because I just thought, I was like, oh, hey, I'm always excited when I see like a maybe new commander. And I always try to bring up like 1 or 2 because really that's what I get the most excited about the sets is like, oh, I might see something new at my table. Like I'm so tired of seeing Rogthras, Kennen, Blue Farm, like, and like whenever a set comes out and it's just like, yeah, there's not really any cEDH commanders in here. I'm just like, guys, please.
Give us a good one.
Yeah, give us a good one so I just see something different. Yeah, I'll give that a 1. Thranduil, the Elven King. Elfin Passage, another thing that's just kind of cool. Pay 1 life, sack this land, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. You may behold an elf if you do untap that land. So if you're running an elf typal deck or something with a lot of elves, I think it's like a second Prismatic Vista for basics, like elf ball, like mono green elf ball would like this. It's a relevant card. That being said, how relevant is it? Probably a 2. A very generous 2.
Yeah, I give it a 2.
Like if you ever wanted to make an elf deck, you would want to know where this is.
Definitely.
A mono green elf deck. Yeah, not even a 2-color elf deck.
Yeah.
All right, next card. Philly and Killy Joyous. So we're into the Hobbit Eternal set, right? That's what it's called. Yeah. So these are the scene cards. So if these cards are something that you like, they're pretty easy to get. You just have to buy the scene, or go on TCG Player and use our link to buy singles. Philly and Killy Joyous, 2 generic and a red legendary creature, Dwarf Bard, haste, add 2. Spend this mana only to cast dwarfs, equipment, and saga spells. It's a 3/3. So in Magda, this is a if I have another dwarf in my hand, I pay 3, I tap it, I get another dwarf. So it in itself is a 1-cost 3/3 dwarf that banks the 2 mana that you spend on it to cast another dwarf because it has haste.
Yeah. I don't play enough Magda. I feel like a lot of Magda's dwarves are all low to the ground, but it is a dwarf with haste,
Yeah.
which is kind of silly.
At the very least, you have Magda out, you tap it, you immediately get a treasure, you float the red mana and you have nothing to do with it and you pass. Like that's the bottom.
Which is good for Magda.
Yeah. 4 for Magda. It's a dwarf and it has haste and it taps by itself. Like it's pretty easy. Bilbo, fellow conspirator, 2 generic and a green. Legendary creature, halfling citizen. If you would create a food token, instead create a food token and a treasure token. 2/3. Really funny with Cabbage Man.
I think it's a 4.
Yeah. A 4 for
with
what?
Cabbage Man.
Oh, like in Cabbage Man.
Cabbage Man has to run it.
I keep forgetting that Cabbage Man is like
it's a cEDH.
Yeah, been a cEDH like commander lately.
I think that helps Cabbage Man a lot.
Yeah. I mean, also like it's 3 costs. So if you culling ritual, supper for spiders, and you make five foods, you get 5 treasures too. Yeah. Like it has a lot of synergy, but yeah, I mean, absolutely is what is it, a general is what they used to call cards that weren't your commander, but they were kind of your like second in command.
I used to call them hidden commanders.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that was a 4 for Bilbo, fellow conspirator. This is another Hashton card. Ori, plate stacker, 5 generic, white, legendary creature, dwarf bard. When Ori enters, destroy all artifacts and enchantments your opponents control. You gain 1 life for each permanent destroyed this way, 3/3.
That's gross.
Yeah, I'm just going to put it in just so I can be like, if somebody gets an Astral Dragon out and they make a bunch of Smothering Tithes, I at least have an answer. Like if we go to slot meta, I can drop Ori. Am I like super excited about it? No, not really. I feel bad giving this a 4 just because like I'm the best Hashton pilot in the world, so that shows you how many people are running Hashton. I think it's really a 2 if I'm being honest, but
I think a 2 is solid too, because there's some, even outside of Hashton, there is those possible.
You could entomb it and reanimate it. Yeah.
I mean, meh.
I mean, in Bant's Commanders, you could have Kinnan in the 99 and flip into it. Like there's options. Does Sisay go tutor this out of the deck? No.
No.
Yeah, I mean it's cool that it exists and it kind of battles the slot meta, so I had to include it, especially because I can put it out for 3. So that is a 2 for Ori plate stacker.
I think a 2 is solid.
Yeah. Dragon Cursed Halls. This is a land that taps for a colorless, and you can pay 1 and tap, and until end of turn, target creature gains. When this creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. So it kind of somewhat gives the Malcolm effect, but it's specifically combat damage. But if you're a deck that's going infinite combats, or you put it on a double strike creature, you get 2 treasures. Or if it's infinite combats or many combats, like Najila, for example, you get a treasure every single combat that you can go to.
That's gross.
It's also pretty crazy in Magda because you pay a generic, tap it, move to combat, you tap your dwarf, you make a treasure. It deals combat damage, you get another treasure. So you're turning 1 generic, well, 2 generic technically, since it's 1 and tap the land, into making an extra treasure with 1 dwarf, which is relevant Magda.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Yeah, so I mean, it has a lot of things it can do. That being said, I think it's very specific. I know Magda really likes this. I kind of want to give it a 4 for Magda. But I think a 3 is fair.
I think a 3 is solid too.
I think not every. I think Magda players will probably test this out and then maybe be like, it's too specific. Yeah.
I think that it's an interesting effect.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that it's very specific.
Yeah. Like putting this on Knuckles is really funny.
That's true.
Next card. So this is Dragon's Desire. 2 red sorcery. Add red for each artifact your opponents control. So another one where they were like, we'll tease you with a Dockside-esque card, but it's not going to work like Dockside would work.
Yeah, no.
It's not bad in Atali. It's not bad in Ral. I think Atali like 100% runs this card. Like it is like a risk, but I feel like if you get to that point where you have 4 mana in Atali, you can get 7, from 3 opponents.
Yeah.
And then Ral, it's pay 3 if your opponents have 4 treasures, 5 artifacts, you're happy, you net mana. I mean, honestly, if you pay 3 and you only get 3 back, that might make Ral happy either way. Where it's like, yep, it's just a storm trigger. I don't think this is a 5. I don't really think that this is a 4. I think it's a 3.
Yeah, I would say in between 2 and 3 for me.
Yeah, I think Atali is probably the most excited about this, and even so, I think this is optional in Atali, and also optional in Ral.
I agree. I think in Ral it's kind of specific because you have to be at a certain amount, or the board state has to be at a certain amount of shenanigans.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe.
All right, next one. Gandalf's Shadow's Foe. 5 generic blue legendary creature, avatar wizard, vigilance. When Gandalf enters, exile up to 3 target lands you control, then return them to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control. Landfall, whenever a land you control enters, draw a card and put a 1/1 counter on Gandalf. It's a 3/4. I don't think I'm going to run this in Hashton, but like paying 3 to flicker 3 of my lands, draw 3, and have a 7/7 vigilance on the battlefield isn't a terrible rate. The other thing about it too is if you have Lotus Cobra, Emil, and Gandalf, you just flicker it and draw your entire deck. Because every time the land enters with landfall, you get a mana of any color, and then you pay the 3 into Emil to flicker it again over and over and over again. So you draw 3 cards every time you can pull that off.
I thought about Kennen as well, just because you flip into Gandalf, you get a 7. What is it? No, a 6/7.
6/7 draw 3 for 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, is it the best thing ever? Does it win me the game? No.
Yeah. I know a lot of Dog Thrust players have said that they're excited about this for that combo of Lotus Cobra, Emil, or whatever landfall-esque thing that's going on. It turns a lot of the combos into draw your deck if you can't get Thrasios out for some reason.
Yeah.
So it's a thing. I mean, where do you get the 7 mana to start it? I don't know.
I mean, a lot of those are cradle decks. So like you're talking tap 3 lands could very be a possible thing.
Yeah, and the thing that we kind of have to remember with cEDH is like, well, seems like it's easier to do e-witness snap lines, and it's like it is, but every single one of those is a cast. This is not a cast, it's an ability. So you're just like, cool. Can you guys remove Gandalf or Lotus Cobra or Emil right now? No? Oh, you guys all have like 4 or 5 counters in hand? Yeah, I'm not casting anything anymore.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, good luck. It might be relevant whenever I cast, the things I want to cast, but those things are going to be backed up by every single counter in my deck. So,
I did like this. Like
yeah.
I'm still considering it. I've put in Jenga Taxis in my deck for Kennen right now, and I think that this might be better.
And the other thing that's relevant is it's every time a land you control enters. So, like, if you flip into it on your opponent's end step and you look in your hand and you have a sack land, you get to draw 3 more cards on your next turn. You're 1 for turn, 1 for the sack land, 1 for the land that comes in after the sack land. So it continues the value.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Is it a for sure slot? No. I think that this is put it aside for as much as I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's put it aside for later. I may test this out if I get it.
Yeah. I mean, Hashaton is all about card draw, really, at the end of the day. So, like, paying 3 to get 3 and then a consistent draw, extra draw every time I play a land is just not there whenever I have Doc Ock, Jenga Taxis, Consecrated Sphinx. You know, like I wish it was better.
And I'll explain just for a second the difference between your Jenga Taxis and mine.
Oh yeah.
You know, at most I'll spend 7 to get Jen. You spend 3.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
Or I Entomb Reanimate it in black. Like
for 7, I could cast Gandalf.
Yeah.
You know, 10 is a lot harder for Kennen than 7.
Yeah.
And at 7, that might be not a flip.
Yeah.
You know? So, and because we are both talking about Jenga Taxis, it's just how the vehicle we get them from.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you're saying it's a 2?
Yeah, I think it's a 2, and you could argue a 3, but I don't think it's. I think it's more 2 than 3.
Yeah, I think everybody that I've seen talk about it, it's kind of a like, I just want to put new cards in my deck rather than like, oh, I'm excited about this. You know, like, it's like, oh, this is cool under these circumstances. Like, are you gonna put it in your deck? I don't know.
Yeah, and for me, it's I'm trying something new, and that Jenga Taxis slot is kind of could be other things, but I don't know.
Yeah, the other thing about Jenga Taxis that you have to keep in mind is, and it's the core auger, right?
Core auger, yeah.
Is every single person will dip their hand outside of you. So the person that goes before you will look at the board and go, so each of my opponents outside of one that just refreshed their hand basically doesn't have counter spells. I think I can fight one person, and then they'll push, and then you better have those counter spells.
Well, with Kennen, I have a pretty good chance.
Yeah, but it's still risky.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's not just draw 7, drop your opponent's hands. Like, and all of your opponents are like, well, I'm going to drop these cards, so I'm just going to cast them. Like, I have a Chain of Vapor, don't necessarily want to use it on a Jenga Taxis, but it's use it here or
it's gone.
And then you have the decision of, okay, do I counter this and let him drop his hand, or do I have enough counters to stop the next person if they try? Like, it's kind of it's a blessing and a curse at the same time with Jenga Taxis.
It's obviously the value outweighs some of the issues. It's just a matter of, is it better? Is it the best in slot? It's not that it's not good.
Yeah. And this has been our mini podcast on Jenga Taxis.
Yep.
Next card. I believe this is our last card of the review.
So Jenga Tech. No,
yeah.
Just joking.
Thorin, company's leader, 4 generic and a red. You know what 4 generic and a red is? Half the price of Jenga Taxis, because Jenga Taxis is 8 generic and 2 blue. So sorry. Thorin, company's leader, 4 generic and a red, legendary creature, dwarf warrior. Whenever a dwarf you control deals combat damage to a player or battle, create 2 treasure tokens. Pay 10, creatures you control gain double strike until end of turn. He's a 4/5. So this is really expensive at 5, but how often does Magda have 3 mana and 2 treasures pretty often.
Yeah.
And let's say there are 2. Let's say it's turn 3 and they have 2 dwarfs on the board. So you go from 3 treasures to swinging with 2 dwarfs, and if they connect, you get 4 treasures.
That's silly.
Yeah, and whatever. So if they connect 4 from this guy's trigger, but 6 total treasures from them tapping. So it's one of those things where you look at it and you're like, 5's a lot, but it's like 5 is not really a lot in Magda, unfortunately for all of us.
Yeah, I think the question for Magda players is if this is drawn, it might be a dead card. Like you have it in your hand, you're kind of like, do I do this or do I win? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, if it's in your opening mulligan, if you have 5 treasures in Magda, you win. Like,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like,
oh yeah, I see what you're saying, because if you tap those 2 creatures, if you had 3 mana no. It's only good if you have 2 treasures only, basically.
Yeah, and there is times where it's like that.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't think. I think that Magda is so consistent that the chances of you just sitting there twiddling thumbs is a lot less.
I also think as of late, it's kind of hard to get through even with Ragavan, and most of Magda cards are the size of Ragavan, and then also like if you're swinging Magda, that's a huge risk that you're not going to get hit with a flash speed creature, which could be Bowmaster. Yeah.
Well, also Magda is flying, right?
No.
I thought Magda was flying. Oh no, the other one is.
I was just like, what are you talking about?
No,
broke.
There is a flying Magda.
There's the Dragon Magda. I don't think she has flying.
I think so. I think there was one. But
so she makes flying dragons, but she herself isn't flying.
Oh,
they do run that card, because when you commit a crime, create a tap treasure token is pretty good, because you don't necessarily care with Magda when they come in, and then also when you go infinite treasures, you have an outlet that's just like, okay, I'll have infinite 4/4 red scorpion dragons with flying.
I apologize. Magda is standing on a dragon.
Yeah, that's a 2 being right for me, 0 for you.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I could have swore that Magda flew.
Oh my god, that would be so broken. Like a flying dwarf.
I could have
2.
You could have bet me, and I mean I wouldn't have bet a lot.
Yeah,
but I would have went up to $5, and I'd have been like,
man.
that'd have been it. I would have died on that hill.
I would have taken you for any penny I could get. Like,
that's so funny. Okay, so Magda doesn't fly. We've all learned something.
I need somebody to like make a fan art of like, the Super Mario like flying like where he has his arms out and his legs together and it looks like he's flying. That, but it's Magda.
Well, to be fair, on the art, Magda is standing on a dragon.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, standing on a dragon. So like, to me, I thought she was riding a dragon. I didn't know.
I think she's like gangster kneeling next to the dragon. Oh, well, yeah.
The original Magda art. So just the original.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Okay.
I just assumed. Yeah, I mean, shame on me.
Yeah.
She walks on dragons. We don't fly on dragons.
I've honestly just never looked at the art on that card very, very hard, if I'm being honest. Because the one I see is usually the like showcase art.
That's fair too. I see that a lot.
Yeah.
And that one just kind of has the dragon around her.
Yeah. I mean, we have the secret layer too that is like the D&D poster. There's a lot of printings of Magda, actually.
Yeah, I would have bet you.
Yeah.
I'm glad we didn't.
It's like, all right, total control of the podcast.
I don't know everything. But no, I could definitely see this card being in the pocket of a Magda player.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's best in slot.
Yeah, and I think this is probably out of the cards that we looked at, which there are quite a few. In the Magda verse, we looked at 5.
Yeah.
I think this is the one that's like probably the spiciest attempt, but like the more it was sold to me, the more I saw it. I hope I have sold it as well as they did to me. That being said, I will give it a 3. I don't think it's a 4. I think the other ones are just far better.
I think it's a 3 as well. And if you're a Magda player, you ate well on this set.
Yeah. I mean, having 5 cards just to test. Like, I think the land is probably out of the 5 a stretch, but I mean, still,
yeah. I mean, there's
there's
decks
a lot
that didn't get a lot to eat at all.
Yeah, I mean, there's decks that were like, oh boy, this Lorwyn set is coming out. I bet I'm gonna get a lot of really good changelings, and then like,
nothing.
Yeah, like
that's so funny.
Or like, oh yeah, Lorwyn's coming out. I bet there's gonna be a lot of good elves. Oh no, these are not good.
Magda's just sitting there buying boxes.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It's like Marvel's coming out. I don't know what people are hoping from. I mean, I guess Sisay was kind of hoping for like a really good Infinity Stone
or Legendary.
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, Sisay, if you think just on Legendaries, Marvel probably had the most.
Yeah.
But meh, like none of them were great.
Yeah, it was a 700 card set, and half of them were legendary. So,
it's a wild statement.
It was so nice to review this set because there was only like 300 cards, and it was funny because I was just like, I grabbed a cold water, I had my Excedrin ready, and I sat down, and I was like, I'm gonna do this right before bed, so if I get a headache, I can just go to bed and sleep it off. And I got to the end of the set and I was like, I only saved 32 cards. There were only 300 to look at. There was only a handful of new cards in the Eternal set. Like this wasn't terrible to actually like look over. I know the Marvel set was mostly a standard set. This set, I believe, because it was standard, they had to lower the power of everything quite a bit. That's why we're not seeing like, a new Orcish Bowmaster or a new, like we're seeing new prints of those, but we're not seeing like
not standard legal.
We're not seeing cards that are to the power of the last Lord of the Rings set. Me personally, and if you're using our TCG link, like stop listening now. This is the end of the podcast. You should buy a lot of cards.
You should buy boxes.
Yeah.
No, just
but if you're not using our TCG link, this set I was budgeting when it first kind of got spoiled-ish, where I was like, it's been a while since I've dropped like a good amount at my local game store. My local game store has had like pretty good prices on their collector's editions. I'm used to people marking those up about like 100, the last one was $20 more than I could have got it online. And I was like, $20 to get it that day in hand, great. So I was kind of budgeting for maybe buying a collector's booster box. And the prices are like insane, first of all. So I wouldn't do it anymore anyway, unless I'm using the TCG player link, which I may. But after I looked at the set, I was like, I don't want anything. I want the Queen of Dale and maybe Ori, and that's it. I would like to have a glittering stockpile, but I don't need it. I would get it and I would just go, "Whoo, good. I have this if I ever want to make a deck with it," and I would seal it away.
Yeah. Just set it to the side.
So like for me, there's only like 2 or 3 cards I'm interested in. There's a lot of like would be cool to have. Like to me, the blue Bilbo is like would be cool to have, but I was expecting to be completely blown out of the water in this set. I was expecting it to be like Bloomburrow, where Bloomburrow was like so many things came out of Bloomburrow,
I think maybe 10 or 11 cards I would want, and some of them are reprints.
Oh yeah. I mean, if we're counting reprints, like there's a lot of really cool art in this set. But if we're talking about like new functionally unique cards, yeah. And like, I've not really been too upset with Magic this year because like I didn't really want anything from Marvel. I just enjoyed Lorwyn, so I did get a play booster box of it. And of course, I wanted to pull Hexing Squelcher. What was the set between Lorwyn and Marvel?
Strixhaven.
Oh, Strixhaven! I did buy a collector's booster.
Strixhaven,
They got me. They got me.
Was a solid. It was the Silver Scrolls.
They got all of us. Yeah,
such a good,
yeah.
such a good marketing plan.
That was a good set, especially for cEDH players. But like everything else, I've just been like, I have saved so much money this year because I have not liked any of the secret layers to where I was like, I need to buy it out. I have not really liked. No, I'm not gonna say I haven't liked. I enjoyed the sets, but there wasn't anything I needed for my decks in these sets so far, and it's continued. And I'm sure Reality Fracture, I'm probably will go pretty hard on. It seems pretty cool. Star Trek, I don't know. I'm not excited about it right now.
I would bet you that Star Trek's gonna have the good cards in it, and it's gonna be like, oh, these are like the arts are bad.
Yeah, that new shouldered reprint has been made fun of so much. Like,
and don't get me wrong, like if you're a Star Trek fan, cool. I've never really liked it, and to me personally, it's just not that I've never really liked it. I just never really got into it.
I like the campiness of like the vintage Star Trek. So when I saw the Salt Vampire, I was like, that's kind of cool. Cause I mean, clearly I like cryptids, So like the Salt Vampire, the like campy 50s, like guy in a suit aliens, I really liked. And then once Star Trek kind of stopped doing that, I was like, I watch the movies. I like the movies like a pretty good amount. But what I say I'm a fan. No, not really. I have not really heard anybody just be like, "Oh, I'm really excited for the Star Trek set." So I'm really curious what market research told them to make this set. And I could be wrong. Like there could be numbers where it's like, well, 1 in 10 people were excited for this set, but that person bought 5 booster boxes on average.
I mean, to me, you could do the superheroes. Like that's a little bit of a stretch to put in Magic.
Yeah, but there's the entire MCU. Like there's a huge box office to say like, hey, people will spend money on Marvel. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like just in universe type of thing, or to have in your game tables.
Yeah.
Like, I think they did okay with Marvel.
Yeah.
I think Spider-Man was kind of
It was kind of jarring to see like T-Rex Spider-Man. And like also just, to be fair to the people that are listening, we're done reviewing cards.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah.
You guys want to stay around, you're welcome. But yeah, I just this year I have not had to spend too much money on Magic. I'm sure Reality Fracture will change that quite a bit. Did you know that on average people spend $250 a year on their hobbies?
I don't even want to talk about that.
It was funny because I read that and I was like, oh no.
So
I have not spent that. I spent that on Lorwyn. I spent that on Strixhaven.
But that's not a year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And I spent almost $200 on Marvel if I count doing the pre-release, buying the Jumpstart, and then also when we went on vacation, I needed 2 packs, and they were $9 a piece at Walgreens. So
you're missing a very, very important part of this hobby.
Well, their investments
and the tournaments.
Oh yeah. Well, the tournaments, business expense.
Oh, it's possible we could win.
Business expense for the podcast.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, the tournaments have been expensive lately. They've been like almost $100 a piece.
Not to go off on a full tangent, but this year was
I don't care. We told people that we were done with the podcast.
This year, like the player base doubled.
Yeah.
I don't see it sustaining as far as people traveling and going to all these tournaments. I think that as a group, the local stores should do it. But
I'm a little worn out. Like, yeah.
I mean, and we don't have like a full team to go and do things.
Yeah. I mean, I love Magic, and I will say that like I can travel 2 hours and go to a tournament almost every weekend. Like there is a tournament this weekend I could go to. That would be 2 hours away. Am I going to? No, I kind of got somebody put me over their knee and spanked me. Yeah, like at the last tournament, I went 0-4. So it was multiple people. It was 12 people, in fact. That
sounds so bad.
Yeah. But yeah, I did not do well. That's fine. I mean, I'm just out of the hospital, so like I'm okay with that. Also, if you guys have listened this far, we do post our tournament results in the Discord. We don't always do a podcast about them. So like if you enjoy our tournament podcasts, and you want more of that, there is a Discord for that. Like this weekend, I was able to go to a 100-person tournament, but Ghost was not able to. And I went 0-4. So I'm not covering a podcast where only I went, and I went 0-4. But yeah, I mean, it's the tournaments and travel have been pretty expensive, but
such a fun hobby, though.
Business expense because there's a podcast.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, is it going on my taxes? No.
Don't get us. But no, yeah, that you say $250 on a hobby. That's wild talk.
Yeah,
I think I've spent that.
I spent that in a week
in one order.
Yeah.
I mean, I bought a Seymour Guado for like $150.
I mean, if we count the boil, just going to the hotel in New Orleans and the event was probably $250. Like gas, hotel, event, more than $250.
Yeah.
That being said, this is why we need people to click our TCG player link and go to our coffee. So if you're just like, wow, I like these guys, I would like to help them with more tournament entries, you can do a direct donation over Ko-fi or Ko-fi. I don't know how to say it. Could be either. I've heard it said either way. Or if you guys don't want to donate directly, you just want to check out TCG Player. If you click the link and you don't even buy anything, that helps us out. Lets TCG Player know that we're sending in. If you buy something, it's definitely better for us, and it's no additional cost to you.
Yep, we appreciate it every time it happens.
Yep, and now that we've tried to sell ourselves again, I think it's a good place to end the podcast. So we'll see you guys later.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.